Beatty. Ollie Tam with the shot. Not as far as Madhu. And the header is in. It's Ajagun, who now becomes the top scorer at this FIFA Under-20 World Cup. His third goal of the tournament. Abdul Ajagun.
Well, we hope to see a similar scoreline, but definitely not that, not the same kind of performance. Similar scoreline meaning that at the end of proceedings tomorrow, we expect the Flying Eagles to take all 3 points, but not play the way they played against Cuba. Let's look at the results of matches played today at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Well, African interest, African champions involved as well, but results didn't go their way. Well, what you have on your screen, results coming from the FIFA Confederations Cup. Uruguay have equalized, and as it stands, it's 1-1. So we have a big game on our hands.
A very big game, because if it stands this way, it goes into extra time, it goes into penalty, and the penalty can be anybody's
game. A winner must emerge.
A winner must emerge. So, but so far it's still 1-1. Second half played, and the Uruguayans have shown that this is a South American derby. The Brazilians are not want to be
Form
fair.
does not matter.
It does not matter. In South American football, I think they seem the competition at that level seems to be very close. Maybe a couple of teams that become because you don't have few. We have few repeat teams in that confederation. So, and this is a team between two of the biggest countries here in South American football. Uruguay and Argentina, champions of Uruguay and Brazil, champions of the South American tournament, and the Brazilian, the host, and champions of the FIFA Confederation Cup. It's going to be a tight one as it stands now. But anybody, because let me just say that anybody that scores a second goal is likely going to tighten up at the back and spring up a victory.
And as time goes, you're likely going to see more cards.
Yeah, more cards, antics, intrigues.
The battle is getting fierce.
Yes, and the emotion will become so high, and the tempers will come.
Yes.
So you expect that.
Just like Nigeria and Ghana, they would rather lose to any other person than lose to
this team, especially at this level.
Okay. All right, so that's it for you on the FIFA Confederations Cup. Let's move over. Let's take a step down and talk about the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. The results of matches played today. And that's it on your screen. Chile played a 1-0 draw with England. New Zealand lost to Paraguay 2-0. Iraq surprisingly defeated African champions Egypt. Croatia played a 1-0 draw with Uzbekistan. Well, where does this leave the African champions?
The African champions, remember, they lost their first game against Chile. So it means they just have to win their last game against England.
And hope that they will be the best loser. One of the best losers.
So we are struggling with 3 African teams looking for who will become the best leader. No, sure, 4. In short, the 4 have become struggling depending on the result Nigeria will put out tomorrow. So we are looking at 4 of them struggling to see who becomes the best loser.
Ghana is in a similar
situation. They lost 2 games.
Mali are not helping them.
They drawn 2 games, so they have to win the last game or probably wait for
the only
kind of miracle
that might be a bit different will be Nigeria.
Yes, because we have gotten just 1 victory. If we
win tomorrow.
So it puts them in a difficult situation. And if you look at Iraq now has 4 points because they drew their first game against England. So they have 4 points. Chile have 4 points, so it's Iraq and Chile setting up the pace in that group. The other game, Paraguay beat New Zealand 2-0, and so New Zealand just 1 point so far. Croatia and Uzbekistan 1-1. So for the Egyptians, they just have to see what will happen in the last game against England. They have to beat England,
their opponents,
and don't concede too much goals because it could turn out to be the deciding factor. Because you may have 3 points with some of that team, they will go to the goal difference, and they will discover that you conceded more goals in your own game. So the Egyptians just have an opportunity, waiting for the other result, because 4 out of the 6 group will produce the best winners, the best loser for the next round of the tournament, and the 4 African teams are struggling for that position.
Okay, the African representatives struggling, and so let's look at tomorrow's matches. A whole lot of interesting matches to be played tomorrow. Spain Under-20, I mean, has impressed so many football fans. They will take on France. Ghana will take on United States of America, and the big one, Nigeria will take on South Korea. Portugal, well, they don't need to do much. They're in a very good position. A draw might just be enough for them. But of course, they have the chance to defeat the whipping boy of the group, and that's Cuba. So this is how it is, and these are the matches that will be played tomorrow. And we are hoping that the Flying Eagles of Nigeria will give us something to smile about. But let's talk about Group A: Spain, France, Ghana, United States. I don't know. Do you still see Ghana, achieving something?
Wait, that's why I said three of the four African teams, because so far Nigeria look like the most formidable.
Because
African
we have
team.
a win.
We have an advantage over the other three because we will have a win. So we are playing our last game against South Korea. If we get a draw, then we are through to the next one, because every other thing that will happen is that the worst that will happen in some of the groups, some teams will have three points. We already have 4 points, but we just have to win to secure an easy passage,
an automatic qualification
into the next round. So for a team like Ghana, they have to beat the United States. But remember, the US lost their first game against Spain 4-1, and of course their second game it was almost a serious affair between the United States and France. So for Ghana, they lost their first game against France. They lost their second game against Spain, so they need to beat the United States. When I beat them convincingly,
beat them well,
beat them very well, to at least wait for the other result to come to favor you. That is what it means. So it means you have to be waiting for the other African result to favor you.
Okay.
So that means Africa will be working, we will be making calculations against an African country, because all four African countries, three of the four African countries are in a precarious situation, including the Ghanaian. So that puts them in a difficult hand. It's going to be very funny. Former champions of this tournament, former African champion, the team that we thought that would give Africans the biggest opportunity of winning, the best opportunity, the best representation. Thank you very much for that word. Definitely, it's likely not going to move to the next round.
All right, let's come to Group B, where we have Nigeria and John Obu and his boys who will file out in Istanbul tomorrow against their opponents and
South Korea.
So I don't know. What do you think needs to be done differently?
Well, they just have to do more than they did against the Cubans. I saw the game against Cuba. I watched the game with my two eyes. I don't know whether I was eating when I was watching that game. So I never lost any appetite. I told somebody I wouldn't lose appetite over this game, because the Cubans, the way they played in the first game against their first game against South Korea, I never saw anything in the Cuban team, because they said they were coming for the tournament. This is their first edition. They are debutant, yeah. So they are coming to learn a few lessons from this tournament. So you can expect that kind of a team to want to ship in more goals, even though we have had the highest score against the Cubans. I hope the Portuguese will not surpass that record. So coming up against a team like South Korea, the Koreans pulled out a draw against Portugal. So it means that the Korean team are more formidable side than our boys.
They did what we couldn't do.
But it's going to be, at least I hope the boys know what's at stake, because playing against a team from the Far East Asia, Far Asia, you just have to be a bit careful, like this Korean side. You don't know what kind of structure they have in place, the kind of system they are putting in place. They come to this tournament as observers. They just come as normal participants. And we are seeing the build-up.
Yes.
We are seeing how the
one thing they have going for them is their work rate.
Yes, their work rate.
They don't tire out. If you give them 30 minutes extra time, they'll play it
even if they are down by 10 goals, they'll keep put up their best performance. They have that kind of attitude.
They are always able to keep their shape. And that's where my worry is. If they're able to keep their shape, you have a Nigerian team that's always losing concentration, that likes chasing a game. That might just be the problem.
But if our boys will play the way they play against, because we saw what Malawi did in the first goal, the build up to the first goal. We saw the positioning of Aminu Mal. We saw the position of Aminu Mal, at least timely intervention sometimes in the box. We saw what resulted at the end of the game. We saw the influence of the skipper Abdjelil Adiago in on this team, because he scored 3 goals so far, a midfielder, and we saw some of the goals he scored. I think if he takes some of those adventurous moves, some of those
opportunities,
gusty runs, I think we'll get more goals against I think we get goals against the Koreans, unless the devil of missing chances did not descend on this guy. If that happened, then we are likely going to suffer dearly, and we pay dearly for it. So I hope some of these opportunities we had, some of those long range chances, even though some of them get blocked by the Cuban.
I also hope that we don't concede early goals.
Yes. Thank you very much.
That's another thing in that game,
because that will put us in a very, very, very difficult situation, because it puts you under pressure. It makes you anxious. It makes you want to go forward, forgetting that you have to defend.
It makes you vulnerable.
And of course, make you vulnerable. And you know what